What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another lifting video. My training lately has been a little weird. I am technically in season for dunking, meaning this is the time of year when I'm doing a lot of dunk competitions, dunk shows, and things like that. So training is gonna work a little differently than when I'm in the off season during the winter. I kind of got pushed into doing dunk contests again out of nowhere. So I had a dunk contest, well, what was supposed to be a dunk show planned about a month ago, and I show up to this dunk show and they start talking about how there's going to be judges and stuff like that. And then I asked Kador Ziani, who's the guy who booked me for the thing, I was like, hey, like, is this going to be a contest? And he's like, oh, no, it's just a show, like, you're just going to do 3 dunks and that's it. And then we show up to the actual venue and I asked the coordinator, I'm like, hey, is this a contest? And he's like, yeah, it's going to be a contest, 3 dunks, 2 attempts each. And I was like, well, I guess I'm coming out of retirement for this. So that's why I started doing that dunk contest. And then as soon as the video came out of me doing the dunk competition, so many people started hitting me up for dunk contests, and I was just like, screw it. It is what it is. Let's start it. Let's start doing this again. Let me get back on the pro dunking scene. But training I haven't really been peaking for these competitions. Like, I think that first dunk contest, I deloaded from a high volume training cycle, which is the worst cycle to be jumping high in. The purpose is not to increase your vert or max strength or anything like that. It's literally just to increase your like work capacity and accumulate some volume. So wasn't jumping too well there. And then for the next 2 dunk contests I did them right smack in the middle of my max strength cycle, which I'm doing right here. And I didn't really choose to deload for them. I wanted to prioritize training properly, and what I did was I just did a micro taper. A micro taper is basically like a smaller deload. You train like normal, and then 2 or 3 days out, you have 1 lifting session that might be lower volume, lower intensity, and then take like 2 days off. And that's what I've been doing. And then before my Venice Beach dunk contest, which I just uploaded, I actually wasn't planning on doing that contest at all, and I lifted the day before. But right now I'm finishing out this training cycle to peak for a FIBA 3x3 dunk contest that's happening in a week, next Sunday. And that is my priority. That's something I want to be jumping high in. And yeah, so without further ado, the lift, as you can see here, I am doing some clean pulls. During my Venice Beach dunk contest, I did an elbow dunk and I got a muscle contusion on my bicep. My bicep literally has a huge dent in it still. It's been like 5 days and it still has a dent. And it was really hard to, like, I couldn't completely straighten my arm out. I couldn't bear weight in flexion. So I've been having to do clean pulls. I can't do any power cleans, but clean pulls are a good substitute, and I can load them up pretty heavy, which is the goal of this max strength cycle. They were feeling pretty good. My power cleans in general have been feeling really good. It's a lift that has been plateaued for me for quite a while. Well, not technically plateaued. I've been having small increments in gains as I've been testing my max. My last max that I did was 285, I think, back in December. One of my big goals for that lift is to hit a 315 power clean, and clean pulls is really good for that because it helps strengthen your pull off the floor. After the clean pulls, I went straight into box squats. Now, the first week that I did these box squats, I actually was doing them wrong. I was basically just tapping the box and then going straight up. So it was basically just like a regular squat, just with a little bit less range of motion than I normally do. So I fixed them this week. Now I'm actually like resting on the box, scooting back a little bit, and then, as you can see here, like pausing for like 1 or 2 seconds and then going straight up. That's going to work a lot more on my starting strength. I can't bounce out of the bottom like I normally do. As far as how low of a box you should use, I just chose something where I'm hitting right below parallel. If you want to get more specific in later training cycles, you can use a higher box that's gonna kind of mimic the range of motion and angle that you hit in a 2-foot jump. For me, that's like my knees being at about 90 degrees. But right now, you always want to go from general to specific in your training. So going a little bit lower on that box squat. Right here, I am using 275. And this is where it started getting a little challenging. On box squats, when I'm at right above parallel or at parallel, I feel really strong. Even with resting at the bottom of the squat, I feel super strong. Like I feel like I could probably box squat about like 500. But as soon as I get to that like just below parallel angle, I get really weak. And especially when you add that pause, like I struggle a lot. I was doing sets of 4 here, and once it got to 315, like you can see here, I start to slow down on the rep. And this honestly has been super challenging, but I feel like it's gonna blow my squat up. This training cycle, what we've been doing is I've been doing box squats on Mondays. I've been doing front squat Wednesday, and then back squat Friday. So it's been a lot of squatting. Also a lot of pulls from the floor. So one thing I've been mindful of is my back. Just trying to stay braced. I think I lose a little bit of tension in my core when I sit at the bottom, so I got to focus a little more on bracing there. Here I am using 325, which was my top set, and I did it for 4. And the last 2 reps were really tough. Right here I'm going to get into my last rep, and I was getting really close to failure on these. Yeah, the speed on that rep was really slow, but felt pretty decent. And I had to do one more set. I believe I had to do like last 2 sets at 80%. And you can see here, I mean, I was super scared. I didn't know how I would fail. And I believe I did 2 reps on these, and then I just decided to not go for the 3rd and 4th reps. Like, just judging from the bar speed based on that first rep, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get to 4 reps. Yeah, you can see there, it's super slow, but that's not a bad thing. I like to push on these heavy sets. Like, I like to get really close to failure, just because I feel like that'll create more adaptations. But after I did the box squats, I went into RDLs. I've been having this weird like pain in my hamstring from heavy deadlifts, and I don't really feel it in light hinging movements like this, but I've been having to be super careful. I think it might be like a really like small muscle pull or something like that. But I usually feel it if I do like a heavy power clean, heavy clean pull, and then or deadlift, and then go straight into these like lighter hinging movements. But I've been trying to be really careful and not push through it. That's something that's really important when it comes to progressing in the long term, and as far as your vertical jump, is you have to know when to push and not to push. If you feel like you're gonna get hurt, don't keep going. Don't add more weight to the bar. Just cut it. Your future self will thank you. I always say lifting and training, it can do 3 things for you. 1, it can make you jump higher, stronger, right? It can progress you as an athlete. 2, it can hurt you. Or 3, it can make you healthier. So you always want to be at progressing as an athlete or getting healthier. Never have training hurt your progress, because that's something a lot of people do, and it's probably the biggest mistake people make, and it's why athletes end up getting hurt. But at the end of the workout, I hit my single leg calf raises. These were feeling super strong. I ended up doing up to 2 plates on the Smith machine, so my calves have never been this strong, and it's a muscle that so many people neglect for some reason, but it's super important. It's the very end of your jump, and that's when you extend your ankles at the top, so don't skip out on the calf raises, guys. But that's it for the video. If you want me to coach you personally to jump higher or get rid of knee pain, go to THPstrength.com. It is the best training on the planet and the best investment you'll ever make on yourself. Make sure you guys like the video, comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.